Good morning, gorgeous friends. Just coming up to the start of the lane, and I was a bit useless this morning. I do a gratitude list every morning, and I started doing that before Christmas. I was getting into a bit of an rut in my head, a little bit negative, and I actually went to the doctor because I was a little bit sort of worried about iron and vitamin D and things like that. And as it turns out, both of those things were quite low. Because I just felt that my mind was going in a more and more negative kind of direction. The interpretation was always a little bit darker than it needed to be. And one of the pieces of advice that I got from a lovely lady called Mary in Enniscrone, who I went to see, was to try this book called The Magic. And I kind of went internally, sounds a bit self-helpy. And I do love a bit of self-help, clearly. But yeah, I did a little bit of a recoil. But I said, you know what, fuck it. If I've asked for healing, and this is the healing that's being suggested and offered, I will give it a go. Oh man. Look, some of them have opened. Look at that. This is the tree from yesterday. Oh my God, so beautiful. Our one hasn't opened yet though. She's awaiting. Oh, look though. Let's come out a little bit further. And you've a few bugalogs stuck to you. I don't know, let nature take its course, I guess. Ah, look at it. So, what the book suggests, and you know what, it is not a major effort of a book. Good morning, how are we all? Are we well? We are waiting on the farmer. You've that hungry glint in your eyes. And the first and main practice that it suggests is that every morning for 3 weeks that you would write 10 gratitudes. And I thought, oh Jesus, like effort. And would I actually do it? Do I want to sit there forcing myself to feel grateful when everything is shit? But there's a difference in this list. She said that you should write I am grateful for, and then write because. And that's what really gets you to soak in it and marinate it and enjoy the gratitude. And that, from a neuroscientific perspective, is how we rewire. That's laying down a new pathway. That's strengthening. I'm going to put the glove back on. It's quite a nippy one this morning. That's strengthening a new thought neural pathway, and really just making a habit of gratitude. So it's actually a super good idea. Oh, look at my babies are all asleep. Ah, the frost. They all just sort of fell over. They'll be okay, don't worry, they'll spring back. A very strong plant. Oh, poor babies. They just look so kind of... So I've done it, and I actually kept doing it. And I noticed in my life that I would then, because I was doing it every morning, see examples of things to feel grateful for. So it is actually very powerful. Anything, I suppose, where you build a positive habit is powerful. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it worked. I got out of that rut, and not completely, I'm still a negative asshole sometimes. Oh, can the tiny primrose babies, look at how small. Oh, I love the contrast. I love the light and the dark at the same time. Yes, so I didn't do them this morning, so I might try and freestyle them while I'm chatting to ye, and maybe you might be inspired to try this yourself. I would love to hear how you got on with it, or what you think about it, or what your questions are about it. But basically, I give myself about 10 minutes to sit down and think of my 10. There is a certain amount of repetition, yes, because there are things that I remain grateful for. The buds on trees has certainly appeared. Look at the frost on the tips of the moss. Oh, so gorgeous. My dishwasher has appeared several times. I have often been grateful for my car, because my car doesn't let me down. And it really is, it's a miracle to have a car. And I'm very blessed and privileged to have a car, and I love driving. So, you know, she says in the book often, you don't really think too much about your car until something goes wrong with it, and then you're just sort of annoyed with it. But what about actually realizing that this beautifully designed and executed miracle of engineering, that, you know, hard-earned money went into the acquisition of, could be a source of gratitude and joy in your life. And I often think that when I see the car as well. Like, I think years ago I used to think the components of things like cars and phones somehow materialised out of thin air. I sort of forgot that, you know, everything comes out of the earth. Ultimately, even the synthesized stuff requires the earth and the elements to come into being. And it's part of what I meant yesterday when I said that nothing stands apart. Everything is in the big old soup pot. So yeah, I often touch the car as I walk past and say, thank you, car. Thank you, earth. It gave me all of these miraculous materials that put together this miraculous travelling machine. Now, I don't go into this much detail when I do my gratitude list every morning, but that is the range of feelings that I'm touching on when I say thank you for my car. So I am aware that it is really an incredible thing. I'm also really grateful for the weather. Can you see him? Little moth. Oh, bless. Sometimes that quiet just takes me. I'm grateful for my healthy body, my strong and healthy body, for not succumbing to its perennial sinus stuffinses. and for helping me to do lovely walks like this. I'm grateful for the clean water in my house. I have a water filter and it makes the most delicious water. I'm grateful for my creativity, because doing little creative things brings me a lot of happiness. I am grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to have somewhere to share, because I like sharing. I didn't when I was a little kid because I was an only child and there was a great limit on packets of crisps and things like that in my house. So if I had a packet of crisps in school, I didn't want to fucking share it with anyone. They were all mine. I reckon I got to about 6 or 7 there, did I, guys? I would often include one of the elements. So, well, I did, because I said I was grateful for the clean water, but that was probably slightly more to do with the filter than the water. But sometimes I will say I'm grateful to the spirit of fire, who was left out of the meditation the other day. Fire is probably one of the scarier elements, in fairness. But the water can't be scary when it's doing its whole tsunami thing. But yeah, fire. Without the spirit of fire, there's no Agni, as they say in the Ayurvedic way of seeing life. There isn't the fire in your person that in your digestion that allows you to digest food and gives you the energy for life. And no fire, no flowers, because of course the biggest fire of all is up there making all that fucking streaming beauty. Streaming beauty. I don't really have that strong of a country accent, but my God, I do love using it. So there you go, that's a rambly overview of doing a daily gratitude list. The book explains it really well and gives you lots of examples of things, and ultimately it just puts a nice spin on first thing in the day. Oh, what a singer. Because often when you wake up first thing in the morning, you have a rush of cortisol to enable you to get up out of bed, and if you are tending towards the anxious end of the spectrum, that cortisol can be misinterpreted as there's anxiety, there's a reason for anxiety, and then your mind starts going, why am I anxious? What should I be anxious about? What's bad? And it can be very subtle, but it's a tough one. It's a tough habit to break then, morning fear. And then of course you have a cup of coffee, so then there's more adrenaline, more cortisol released. So this is a heart connecting activity to do first thing in the morning to kind of balance that out a little. And as the Buddha would say, sure, give it a try, and if you don't like it and it doesn't do anything for you, then just don't fucking do it. That's how the Buddha would have said it. He said it something like that. So now, have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening to my ramblings, and congratulations if you made it to 14.5 minutes. But the birdsong has, right? Okay, have a gorgeous day. Take care. Lots of love.